Lies. No, this one is not that complex. You've probably already solved it. This is not a complex mystery. $42. Yes, exactly. I will go ahead and save. Again, Lady and the Swimmer. No, there's kind of a problem with that theory, though. Alright, welcome back Twitch and YouTube to just another game. Master Detective Archives, we're in hell.
Ow! This happens every time. There's gotta be a better way.
Yeah, but Shinigami loves her running gags.
To a historical moment.
Huh?
I never would have imagined discovering an advanced civilization underneath Kanai Ward. There must be treasures sought by adventurers deep inside.
You wanted to
If
be
I
an
had known this was
adventurer?
here,
You are an
I would have
adventurer
brought along
now.
a whip and hat.
That would
Fubuki,
give us copyright problems.
We're not underneath Kanai Ward.
Alright, we're gonna need a montage. And montage
That's
complete.
what happened.
That's it.
Huh?
This is exactly the adventure I have been seeking. Hidden treasure inside a labyrinth. Traps blocking our way. Dangerous monsters. This labyrinth is the adventure I was born to take on.
I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
Does she really not get it? Well, that figures.
Actually, she gets it to a
So,
surprising degree.
You must be the god of darkness possessing Yuma.
You got it all wrong. I'm not the god of darkness. I'm the god of death.
Big difference.
She's like our guide for the mystery labyrinth.
Right. If you defy me, I'll abandon you in here.
I see. You're the guide to hell that dwells in the labyrinth. So you are the god of darkness. Then you are plotting to interfere with us. I will not yield to you.
She doesn't get it at all.
It's like she's not listening. This is why I hate naive, sheltered skanks.
Be nice.
Naive. Sheltered? Calling me a skank is one thing, but sheltered? Yuma, I swear I shall conquer this labyrinth. I cannot abide this vulgar god of darkness calling me naive and sheltered.
But the skank part is fine.
Fubuki, please calm down.
Anyway, Master, let's do it again. We've got to put on a fiercer display than ever before for this sheltered skank.
Fiercer than usual?
Fubuki, just a heads up. Please don't take anything you're about to see in a weird way.
How could she possibly take anything she's about to see in a weird way?
Master, are you ready to give your life for the truth?
I am.
Darkness was concealing a weapon all along.
And now I have it.
And yet, Yuma, you have disarmed the God of Darkness and stolen her weapon.
Master, we don't have time to deal with this. Just chop her up with a solution blade.
Absolutely not!
Here, I spat out the solution keys for you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
You are smuggling that many keys on you? You must be a serial burglar, God of Darkness. Your crimes are far worse than I first imagined.
Seriously, you're such a dumb, sheltered skank. How do you hope to clear the mystery labyrinth like this?
You called me sheltered again.
There, calm down.
I refuse. I do not like conflict, but I will not stand idly by while being insulted. For the honor of the Clockford family name, I must fight.
Wait.
Sheesh.
Wait till I get a pool of mud.
Now, let's unriddle this mystery labyrinth! Our target is the true culprit who preys on the truth.
I will not lose to the God of Darkness. I will conquer this labyrinth sealed in shadow and find the hidden treasure deep within.
This doesn't look very promising.
I'm in trouble. I am so fucked. And not in the fun way either.
I can see numbers.
Oh good, we only have this
It
long.
looks like a countdown. I told you a million times. The mystery labyrinth is the materialized form of the case from the real world. Maybe this is a recreation of the countdown timer that caused you such a headache.
You mean the bomb? Then if the timer reaches 0...
It'll go kaboom! You and the whole mystery labyrinth will be blown to smithereens!
Fortunately, we don't really have to worry about that.
What's funny about that?
Did you set up the bomb in this labyrinth? I see. A dirty trick, befitting the God of Darkness. Yuma, we must hurry. If we take too much time, the labyrinth will collapse, along with the treasure inside. Let us make all haste to obtain the treasure and escape via waterfall out of the destroyed dungeon.
Wait! It's not safe! Jeez. It's too dangerous for Fubuki to go alone. Although, maybe not. She could use her ability in an emergency.
Probably not here.
Oh, I should let you know. Fortes can't be used in here.
Yep.
Huh? Really?
Why didn't you ever tell me this ahead of time?
Just tagging along inside the mystery labyrinth. She won't be able to use her abilities.
Oh, now I'm worried. Let's hurry after her.
If you think about it, a little lady, you'll realize what's wrong with that theory. As we go through this loading screen. How far did she get? Oh, she's surrounded by cues. I can understand that. Valid.
Fubuki?
Oh, Yuma, take a look at this. These cute creatures and I have become the best of friends.
Those are cues. It's a materialized mystery. She's already buried beneath them.
Lucky cues.
Oh, another round oddity over here?
A phantom.
Hey, it's Titania.
Found you! You're a terrorist, bomber, murderer, and a maggot who doesn't deserve to live.
It's our fairy friend
You murdered
from
Shachi from the
Shadowbringers.
Resistance, didn't you? Killing your own people makes you dumber than Dominic.
Well, it's very rude to say while he's right there.
I didn't do it. When I got to the roof, Shachi was already dead.
I can't hear you. Sorry, listen to criminals.
How horrifying! So these are the labyrinth's monsters? You summoned such dangerous creatures to block our path?
Think what you want, but you can't move forward until you boom kill these things.
Let us do it, Yuma!
Hey, Dominic, you're good at doing laundry, right? Grab a washboard and give their filthy hearts a good scrub.
Genlei didn't have a sniper rifle. It's simpler than that. Alright. Reasoning deathmatch. Round 1. Fight. Shachi's gun or the security camera footage?
Just admit it. Confess to shooting Shachi on the hideout's roof.
Prefer not.
How terrible of you to shoot an ally. You even planted the gun on his corpse.
Did I?
All to make it
Remember
look
that.
like a suicide. With no witnesses up there.
Okay, I didn't think that was it, but I thought it might be.
Seth,
There weren't any
That's right.
witnesses. Okay, so that doesn't
just
count.
admit it. Confess to
Okay,
shooting
okay.
Shachi on the hideout's roof. How terrible of you.
Security camera footage of the emergency stairs. No one but Yuma was shown. There was only one gunshot. Yuma was okay. All right, there we go. That is
You just-
that is the statement I want to use it on. Yep.
Shoot an ally. You even planted the gun on his corpse. All to make it look like a suicide. With no witnesses up there. You did as you pleased. Go die and be reborn already, okay?
All right, so I know what statement I need.
Say,
The only one on the rooftop was you, Master, which means you're the only person who could have killed Shachi. But I didn't do it. Shachi had already been killed by the time I got to the roof. Then let's prove your innocence. I know you can do it, Master.
just admit it. Confess to shooting Shachi on the hideout's roof. This is the truth.
I really feel like the music would be
Shot him.
should have some
I was
better
still on the
transitions.
stairs when the gunshot went off. The security footage proves it.
The monsters retreated. Yuma, you defeated those monsters! Splendid! I respect you as a fellow adventurer.
It's a shame
As a
you won't
sign
remember
of my
this.
Respect, may I call you the Warrior of Light?
Warrior of Light? Sure, whatever you say. Let's keep going.
See that? We're the Warrior of Light now, just like Shadowbringers. This is how this reminds me of Final Fantasy XIV.
By the way, Yuma, why were they accusing you of being the culprit?
Oh yeah, Fubuki, you don't remember the case. There was a murder, and I'm a suspect.
There's no way the Warrior of Light can be a murderer.
This place is awfully
I
wet.
was seen under incriminating circumstances. Not only was I a suspected terrorist, but I was also spotted next to a corpse on the roof of a building.
Was there no one else on the roof?
No one. There was nowhere to hide up there, and no other exits.
Well, that does sound awfully suspicious, Yuma. Things would go much easier if you'd just confess.
Thanks, Fubuki.
I told you I didn't do it!
Oh, the water is moving. So is Plus.
What's happening?
I understand now. This place is going to sink very soon.
I know that!
I can float, so it's not a problem for me. But you two better figure something out quick.
I know that too! We just need to solve the mystery, right?
Whee! Concentrate, Master! Concentrate!
Come on, Master, concentrate!
Why are you always happy about this? Fubuki, that is not how you swim. What murder weapon was used in the case? Well, it was Shachi's gun. It's the only one we know about. It was the only one that was present, and it had a
That was
cartridge
quite the
that had
surprise.
already fired. We know a shot was taken.
Fubuki, let's go up there.
Huh? You mean jump on it?
It's alright, this should be fine. Come on, Fubuki! What's wrong? You need to jump over here!
I am not very good at physical activity.
Well, I can't really carry you.
I cannot do it. I lack the confidence.
Fubuki, you're an adventurer, aren't you? You should be able to jump this.
Very well.
And she's gonna die,
I shall
isn't
reach
she?
out as far as possible. Please catch me if I fail to make it.
Work them dummy thick thighs, and she fell. Goodbye. And I missed. Alright, she had two hands. Thank God she had two hands.
It's too early to relax. Come on, keep going!
Thank you, Yuma. Something is off. I attempted to rewind time, but was unable to.
About that, you can't use your abilities while inside the mystery labyrinth.
Huh? Is this the work of the God of Darkness? Her frightening power has sealed away my forte?
So you finally noticed.
I wish you'd quit trying to make things worse.
With your precious powers gone, you're nothing but a hindrance in this labyrinth.
Don't be mean.
Now stay put and keep out of trouble.
Hindrance?
About the murder weapon, the victim was killed by his own gun, right?
Yeah, the muzzle of the gun at the crime scene was still hot, and I could smell gunpowder. Out of the 6 bullets loaded in it, only one of them had an empty shell. Which means the bullet that killed Shachi absolutely came from the gun he was holding. Fubuki?
Okay, I will carry you if you
I
need to.
am a hindrance.
Aw, poor Fubuki.
What, still thinking about that? You should have known that already. You can't solve mysteries, you can't use your abilities, you can barely move, you've got no courage, no resolve.
Shinigami, be nice.
So yeah, you're basically a hindrance, an obstacle. Now beat it before you drag Master down with you.
Fubuki, are you okay?
I am fine. I can stand on my own. Yuma, I am terribly sorry. From here on, I shall make an effort to not cause you any trouble.
You don't have to worry about it. If anything stands in our way, we'll work together to overcome it.
No, this is something I must do on my own. I must become strong enough to take on the world before I can return to the Clockford family.
It's really gonna be a shame you don't remember this.
Looks like she's getting motivated. Sometimes playing the bad guy gets results.
Playing? But you're always like this.
I am curious. Are you really a detective in training, Yuma?
As far as I know, yes.
You seem far more experienced with adventuring than I am. You even had the title of Warrior of Light.
Wasn't easy to
You
get.
gave me that title, Fubuki.
Master's an expert at getting dragged into other people's business. He's been forced around the block a few times. He's got a great mentor, too.
No, I have a mentor.
I have nothing besides the ability to wind back time.
You really don't understand how useful
and
that
my
is.
only merit is useless here.
Nope. Time for monsters.
That's so sad. You're not gonna make it through here. You're getting real annoying. It's starting to stress me out.
Her hair is all
Help
frizzy.
me unwind by turning them into mincemeat.
Reasoning Deathmatch, Round 2. Fight. Alright, high voltage lines, parallel gunshot wound,
Even
Shachi's
if you didn't fire the
gun.
gun, a friend could have done it for
Designed
you.
by Iruka.
You ordered your accomplice to snipe Shachi from
Oop.
someplace else. Your accomplice threw the gun over to you. And you planted it in Shachi's hand. That was your maggot master plan! Huh? Where was the shot taken? There's one spot where the shot could have been made. You shot from the roof of the building next door!
Well, then the gunshot wouldn't be the way it is.
I'll slash through this mystery. The neighboring building didn't have any windows, so the only way to shoot the victim was from the rooftop. But that building was taller than the hideout. If the victim was sniped from that height, the gunshot wound would have been at an angle. But the gunshot wound through his head was horizontal. Based on the gunshot wound, it's impossible for the bullet to have traveled from the roof of the neighboring building.
Right, well, fuck. No, we know for a fact that his gun was the murder weapon, and he was killed at an angle parallel to the ground.
I get it. Since the wound ran parallel to the roof, the shooter must have been at the same height.
Well, it could be that the victim's head was at an angle at the time of impact. But in that case, we would have found the bullet lodged in the roof.
The monster conjures falsehoods to impede our progress.
But it's strange that they insist it was a homicide. If I'm not the culprit, it'd make more sense to rule it as a suicide.
That's because it is one. They're insisting it's a homicide to cover it up.
So you finally revealed your true nature, God of Darkness.
Oh, would you two just kiss already?
Yuma, Do not be swayed by this deceiver. This case is most assuredly a homicide.
Assuredly. And what are you basing that on?
The victim carried a gun, did he not? If so, he could have used it to combat the peacekeepers pursuing him. And yet, he hastily turned the gun on himself. I do not believe the victim was so cornered that he would commit suicide.
That actually makes sense.
That's a good point. Even if he wanted to avoid using his gun, he could have at least used it to threaten them.
So it must be a homicide.
No! Suicide!
Homicide!
Duck season! Rabbit season! I say it's duck season and I say fire!
There are 2 doors?
Oh no.
Huh?
Was it suicide or homicide?
The letters are written in blood. Does Yuma's blood contain holy powers? And it illuminates this cursed labyrinth?
Sure, why not?
Yuma, you are more than the warrior of light. You are the holy warrior of light.
Oh, it's only getting longer.
Sure, that's fine. Let's focus on this problem. Is this a suicide or a homicide? We need to narrow it down, now.
It is clearly a homicide.
Nuh-uh! It's totally a suicide!
No. It is clearly a homicide, because if it was a suicide, there was a mistake made that Shachi wouldn't have made. It's a homicide.
Right here!
A cafe with an open terrace. Forensic Forte. Okay, never mind.
I'm sure this is the right way.
I knew it! This case had to be a homicide.
If it was a homicide, someone else had to have been on the roof, right? But Master, you were on the emergency stairwell, and the peacekeepers were behind the door.
Let's worry about that later and focus on
Which
proving
means
it's a
no one could
homicide.
have gotten off that roof. How did the culprit shoot the victim and get away? See? If it wasn't a suicide, then what happened? You'd better explain yourself.
Very well, I shall. I completely agree with what Yuma said.
I didn't say anything.
So what do you think, Master?
You mean why I think it's a homicide? I don't really have a solid reason why yet.
Oh, here we go.
We're trapped!
Here you go. You wanted
Oh no! The walls!
labyrinths and adventures. Why is this the answer? What is the reasoning behind it being a homicide?
Come on, spit it out. The mystery labyrinth won't wait forever, you know.
I know, but
Yuma!
if it was in fact a homicide, there would be some clue left behind at the crime scene. If I can just remember something.
Oh, like this?
Oh no. Please no. And I have a concussion.
Here, this is everything left at the scene. This should be easy mode. I made sure to pull everything straight out of your memory, Master.
I'm sure there's a clue pointing to a homicide hidden here.
If only I wasn't
We do
about
not
to
have much time.
throw up.
Please hurry, Yuma!
There must be something suspicious, something that stands out. There has to be a clue. I have to find it.
Well, the biggest clue. It's not the security camera, it's not the door, it's not the umbrella for sure, because we didn't even, that wasn't even a key. It's the gun. If it was a suicide, the gun would not be the way it is.
I know, it's this! This has to be related to the murder.
Oh, the wall stopped. Looks like it's the right one.
That is the gun that fired the fatal shot, right? But how can you determine it was a homicide?
There's something unique about this gun. A revolver cylinder normally swings out to the left, but the gun found at the scene swings out to the right.
I see. That is unusual. It is incredible how you even noticed it. You really are the holy great detective warrior of light, Yuma.
And here we go.
It got even longer. Oh well, anyway. This gun was apparently custom made for Shachi.
The junk shop geezer said that too. How does that prove this was a homicide?
Oh no.
I don't know anything else about it. I just figured this was kinda out of place.
The walls are extra angy now.
It's happening again?
Of course. You haven't solved the mystery itself.
Yuma, over there!
No! Stop, little Q, no!
Did you try shooting it with the gun?
I'm no marksman. Oh, but it could work inside the mystery labyrinth. If this gun is the answer... Huh? It's not loaded?
If you can't shoot it, then you're still missing something.
Something? Do you mean like why I think this gun is out of place? I can't shoot the gun until I figure that out?
Well, Yuma, did you solve it?
Why was Shachi's gun built like this in the first place? The reason why must be relevant.
Are you saying you need my help to solve this?
No, I've solved it.
Oh, fine. Since
But
you're
if you
so
wanna
good at
get in a
begging,
bikini,
I don't mind
I'm not gonna
helping you
argue.
out one bit. Here we go. Lay it all out.
I'm not gonna argue if you want to get in your swimwear. Time for the Shinigami puzzle. Oh, Shinigami looks
Work
cute.
together as a team.
Looking at his gun, you can tell Shachi's dominant hand
Great.
as it slowly rotates. I will talk about the reasoning. It's his left hand. And if you didn't pick up on the fact that he usually held this gun or anything in his left hand, you can tell that by looking at the posters. Remember, the loading screen tip said that the posters were modeled after his arm. If you look at the posters for the Resistance, they show a closed left arm.
That's right.
Shachi possibly could have shot the gun with his right hand, but he wouldn't have if he had the choice. And that's why it's a homicide. Shachi wouldn't have made the mistake of leaving the gun in his right hand.
That's it! It's because he was left-handed! The reason the cylinder swings out to the right is to let him reload while still holding the gun in his left hand. If he was right-handed, it would be very difficult to reload if the cylinder swings out to the right. If Shachi was right-handed, he wouldn't have commissioned his gun to be designed this way. Which means Shachi is left-handed.
And since Gun Lady built this gun for him, she also wouldn't have made that mistake. Shachi had a specially designed gun because he was left-handed.
Look, the exit! You did it, Yuma!
Oh, it worked.
Oh,
thanks to Yuma's
Oopsie.
true. No, it is thanks to Yuma's deduction.
What? But we'd all be flattened by now if it wasn't for my assist.
I will never believe the God of Darkness could willingly lend a helping hand.
Sure, say what you want. Anyway, let's hurry. Countdown is still going.
Yeah, that really matters.
Right. It looks like the number's gone down by a lot.
You were so close to figuring out this mystery. Let's hurry it up, Master.
This one really isn't
Yeah,
super
got it.
complicated. It does have a unique escape mechanic, but it's not complicated.
Look, another monster.
No, it's the same one.
Alrighty, we're here as your official roadblock.
Swimming Boy could still be
You
the
wanna know
culprit.
why?
He still could be.
Because the homicide route ends here. That Shachi terrorist committed suicide. After all. Right, Dominic?
You kept insisting it was a homicide earlier, but now you're going with the suicide theory?
These monsters are cheaters.
Maybe they're cheaters because they're monsters.
Are you defending the monsters? Curse you, God of Darkness, Queen of Monsters!
I'm not defending them. I can't even follow this whole monsters and God of Darkness story you have going.
Oh no, it's pretty good though.
Now's not the time to be fighting!
Reasoning Deathmatch, round 3. Fight. What do we got? Oh, we're just repelling.
Looks like it's a dead end. You can't
Kind of want to see the
proceed
rest of this conversation.
because it wasn't a homicide. Shachi
Also get some
definitely
points.
committed suicide.
That's probably what I want to repel,
Why
actually.
don't you just give up?
Yeah, I think I repel the suicide
Master!
comment. There should be a contradiction somewhere. You gotta find it and repel it.
Yeah.
Bad luck. Looks like it's a dead end.
I mean, I can't revoke the fact that's a dead end.
You can't proceed. Because it wasn't a homicide. Shachi definitely committed suicide.
My claim doesn't
Why don't
hold
you
up.
eat that?
No! Shachi didn't commit suicide! All the evidence points to the contrary!
You know you're super annoying, right? Fine. I'll crush you like a bug.
The repels in this game kind of seem
So what
unnecessary.
if the gun was designed for the left hand? You can still shoot yourself. Shachi shot himself with the gun in his dominant hand.
Well, that's wrong. Shachi's left-handed.
This is the truth!
The gun was found in his right hand.
Shachi was left-handed, but he was found dead with the gun in his right hand. There's no reason he'd use his non-dominant hand to commit suicide. It's an obvious contradiction. When the culprit tried to make it appear like a suicide, they put the gun in the wrong hand.
They were
Which
smart.
means someone else was involved in Shachi's death. This death was a setup. It's a homicide.
I will admit, this case feels like a filler case.
You managed once again to slay the monsters. That confirms it. The homicide route was the correct one.
Seems like it. I guess I can admit defeat here.
Huh? The God of Darkness admitting defeat? Perhaps she has an honest side. No! It cannot be! Could this be an illusion she conjured forth?
You know, I don't really care, so long as we keep solving mysteries. Just keep helping my master out for a bit longer.
Let's carry on for now.
Feels like they knew they were going to need a set number of cases, and they had ideas for most of them that are story related, and then this one is also here. Like, a lot of it is kind of story related, but the case itself, a lot of the chapter is story related, but the case itself is kind of not as fun as the rest of them. Once you figure it out, it's kind of like, oh, really? And because, you know, like,
The culprit
some of the elements are so predominant,
mistake getting the victim's dominant
it doesn't
hand
feel
wrong.
like there is a lot of
Perhaps the
work
culprit
done
doesn't
here
know that Shachi's custom
for
gun was designed
deception or
someone
misdirection.
left-handed. Shachi rarely carried his gun, so they probably never saw him hold it.
Huh. Why would he go through the trouble of getting a custom
Well,
gun?
they definitely
that he
needed
never
something
intended
lighter
to
after
use?
chapter 2, for sure.
Deep down, do you think he was just like any other violent terrorist?
Maybe the gun was a gift.
A gift? From whom?
A woman named Iruka manages the Resistance's weapons. She was the one who designed it.
Gifting a gun is so romantic. It delights my adventurer's heart.
It does?
Well, thanks to the culprit's mistake, we now know this was a homicide. But we still have a lot of unanswered questions.
Oh, good, Whirlpool. That's always great. We just don't scream here, we just don't care. Just like, whatever. It's the Mystery Labyrinth. Where did the culprit shoot the victim from?
The location where the culprit shot Shachi.
Yep. Even if this case is a homicide, that's still a mystery.
But if you know it was, in fact, a homicide, then the answer has to be here. I have no idea what it could be, but I am confident that you can discover the answer. For you are he who tames the God of Darkness, holy great detective warrior of light Yuma.
At this rate, it's going to be paragraphs.
How long is my name going to get?
Well, I mean, we already know where the culprit shot the victim from. There's only one place it could be. The problem is we haven't identified how they left. It couldn't have been inside the hideout because the door was closed and locked and the peacekeepers were on the other side. We've already identified it can't be the roof of the building next door because of the wound. The only place it could have been would be the roof of the hideout. So whoever shot Shachi was already on the roof, which is probably why Shachi didn't leave the roof.
Right here!
Someone was on the roof that Shachi thought was a friend.
That was the right answer, but... If he was shot on the roof, doesn't that mean the culprit was also on the roof?
The culprit placed the gun in Shachi's hand to make it look like a suicide. That means they had to be there in person. The culprit was definitely on that roof.
Like I said, if you actually remembered what the roof looked like before the explosion, you have
said
solved
nobody
this.
was there when you arrived.
That's what we have to figure out now. When I heard the shot, I was halfway up the emergency stairs. It took about 10 seconds to reach the roof. And in that time, the culprit vanished like a cloud of smoke from the scene.
Where could the murderer have gone?
This is...
We're back at the crime scene.
I just don't even bother protesting anymore. Follow the culprit's escape route.
Follow the culprit's escape route?
You need to escape in the same way the culprit did after committing the crime.
Alright. It couldn't have been the neighboring building.
Is it easier to imagine using a rope or some other tool to escape to the neighboring building? Or perhaps they used a hot air balloon? The culprit must be quite the adventurous thrill seeker.
No, the power lines.
But
We've already
those
identified
high
that.
voltage lines would get in the way. You'd never reach the next building without touching them.
Oh, so the culprit is not an adventurer?
So it couldn't have been you, Fubuki.
That's what you're disappointed about?
Alright. Well, it couldn't have been the door, because the peacekeepers were on the other
Is it
side.
easier to imagine that the criminals simply went back inside through this door?
No, that's impossible. At the time of the incident, the peacekeepers were on the other side of it.
I see. If the culprit had gone inside through here, they would have been apprehended by those peacekeepers.
Well, it's safe to say this wasn't the escape route.
And it couldn't have been the stairs, because I was coming up them.
Ah, so the culprit escaped via the emergency stairs.
Plus, they would have been on
As the culprit was
camera.
in a state of emergency, it is only natural that they would make use of emergency stairs.
Wait. Master was up ahead, right? There's no way the culprit could have escaped without bumping into him.
What are you saying? Yuma is right here, is he not?
I mean, when the crime happened. Jeez, this sheltered skank and her empty head are killing me here.
Yet again, you called me sheltered.
Fubuki, is there something you need to
Hey,
confess?
I'm just telling it like it is.
Sheltered
Your
this,
bare head
sheltered
and a
that.
burden. You're sheltered in a skank.
I have never even seen a
When are
shelter,
you gonna start
let alone
trying?
been in one. Skank is acceptable, but
gonna be anytime
sheltered
soon.
Skank is acceptable?
Stop calling me that.
Well.
I don't know if the culprit realized I was there. The footage from the security camera positioned here didn't show anybody around. Which makes it hard to imagine that the culprit escaped from here.
Oh, what about this place?
Though
Pretty
it
high
is
up.
fairly high, would it not be possible to climb down from here on a rope or ladder?
No, we would have seen that.
There's nowhere to hang something like that onto. Plus, from this height, it'd take a while to get all the way down like that.
Not if you used the rope, you
It'd
just
be
slide.
tough
You'd
for someone to
have
get
fucking
down
friction burn.
and gather their equipment in the short time it took me to reach the roof.
You probably couldn't jump down onto a mat from this height either. You'd die no matter how you landed.
Yuma. This is bad. We have reviewed all the possible escape routes.
And yet, we can't figure out how the culprit got off the rooftop.
Mysteriful.
Well, the problem is,
Funny! At this rate, we'll run out of time.
we're stuck
What are we
on how the
supposed to do?
crime scene appeared at the team of the
There's no
at the
other way besides
time of the
finding
crime.
the culprit's escape route. That's how it is in the mystery labyrinth.
Where are the entrances for cast members and the hidden entryways for maintenance crews?
This isn't an attraction at some theme park.
Well then, why do you hunt Yuma if you cannot even do your job and guide him?
Wow, that's a good
God of
question.
darkness who cannot guide you is just a directionless god of darkness.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You're a stupid, sheltered skank that's completely useless.
You called me sheltered again. How many times is that now? Let's see. After the number 3 comes... Seriously.
Incoherent screaming.
Head on right. When are you gonna start being useful? I feel much better. Together already. Just how many insults do you intend to hurl at me? Anyway, yes, that is obvious. I'm not able to use my powers here, but at least I can be by you know.
The culprit must have been on their roof when they committed
Meanwhile, I'm
the
not even paying
crime.
attention to it.
They escaped somehow. But how? There aren't any other clues at the crime scene. Wait, if nothing was there, what if the culprit destroyed evidence?
What? Destroyed evidence? And leave it to yours truly. I'll wring it out of your mind,
Oh, no.
Master.
You're going to recreate the crime scene again?
Oh no.
If you don't remember it, then I've got no choice. I'll make it a gentle beating this time around. So, which memory do you want beaten out of
At
you?
least use your boobs. What memory will be recreated? Well, we already have the memory of when the body was discovered. What about when the rooftop was first entered? When the rooftop was first entered.
How about when Shachi first called me up to the rooftop? The culprit wouldn't have done anything to the scene yet. I can even compare it to when I found the corpse.
Alrighty, leave it to me.
What is this daunting aura I sense? What are your intentions here?
Let's do it, Master!
Can't be!
Goddamn clotheslines.
Are you alright, Yuma?
I'm in so much pain. I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
The corpse is gone, but nothing else has really changed about this place.
Apparently there was always blood
I
here.
believe all that happened was you were assaulted, Yuma.
Not much time passed between when you first reached the rooftop and when you discovered the corpse. If nothing changed, then there are no clues here for you to use.
Hang on. There must be something. Something that the culprit destroyed to cover their tracks.
I wrenched this memory out of your tiny brain, so you don't have much time left to look around. Your time limit is until the pain in your head goes away. You better hurry up and investigate.
Got it. I'll hurry.
Must hold on to concussion. Crime scene recreation. Oh, that was just the message we had before. Okay. Well, the door hasn't changed. The security camera and the stairs haven't changed. These paint cans haven't changed. The building next door hasn't changed. But there is one thing that did change. And that's this area.
It seems like there's no place to hang a rope off of. There's nothing of note on this side of the wall. What is that? A storm drain? Has that always been there? Oh, right. The explosion. The explosion that happened right after I found the body must have buried it in rubble. So the drain was covered after a mysterious explosion.
The drain was buried in rubble from the explosion that happened right after the body was found. If you remember this, you solved it. This was always there.
Find anything, Master?
Yeah, I might have found a clue that shows how the culprit escaped.
Really? You did it, Yuma!
Even if you couldn't have, even if they made a point not to show that drain,
Chirp, 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 chirp. I was curious what all the tweeting was about.
even if they made a point not to show that drain from the rooftop before, I would have passed it on my way to get the memory shard.
You're still fantasizing about all this nonsense?
He committed suicide! There's nobody to pursue! After all, there's no place a culprit could run to. No one can run off a rooftop!
No one could escape the rooftop.
Which means if you can disprove that, then we'll defeat them and press forward.
Reasoning Deathmatch Round 4. Fight.
What's with these
Great.
weirdo fantasies? I say,
We're just
Shotzi
repelling right
committed
now.
Suicide. You're such a maggot. There is no other culprit. No one could have left that rooftop.
No, the killer absolutely had to leave the rooftop.
That claim doesn't hold up!
Otherwise, he would have been found.
No, there is a culprit! And there's a way to escape from the roof, too!
Ugh, such a drag. You're still talking about that? What a downer!
The culprit had to be on the roof if it's not suicide. So, where did the culprit go?
Ah, damn it.
You can't escape through the roof's door.
Oh, I
Can't
hit it
escape
one
down the
time.
emergency stairs. Or was the culprit on the roof the whole time?
No, we've already proved it's not me.
All impossible! See? There's simply no place to run.
What about the drain?
Slash through this mystery!
The key we just got.
No, there is a way out! The drain directly below the rooftop!
And with that,
Don't let any shady statement slip by.
Mystery Phantoms will ask a riddle from time to time. Read the question carefully and counter by repelling the words the answer you think is right. And with that, we have basically proved who did it.
The drain? What about it? What's that got to do with gleam from the roof? How did the culprit escape? Go ahead and try answering that.
I ducked. They dove down the drain.
Yes, I'll expose the truth! That's right! The culprit dove into the drain from the roof! That was the culprit's escape route!
Sorry, Dominic, you gotta go too. You didn't do anything wrong, but I'm sorry.
They disappeared, but to leap into a storm drain from atop a roof? Is such an adventurous stunt truly possible?
Well, we'll have to do it to prove it.
I wasn't sure about that as well. But if the explosion was used to destroy evidence, I think that has to be the case. The culprit opened the storm drain's grate beforehand and jumped from the roof right after committing the crime. The Doya district was flooded, so naturally the drain would have been filled with water. Then, the culprit swam away.
It would only only take a few seconds to escape the roof that way. So the culprit used a bomb to blow up the area, which covered up the evidence of their escape.
They couldn't stick around and move the grate back in place.
Why? We defeated these monsters already.
We haven't recreated.
Problem here was follow the culprit's escape route.
Exactly.
So we have to leap into the drain just like the culprit did?
I have to jump from up here?
It's either that or die.
Now more drains have suddenly appeared. What is happening?
Master, you have to make up your mind and
Bubaki.
jump.
No, I don't! I'm already falling!
Who was capable of committing this crime? A resistance leader. Only they could have opened the safe. And only really they could have set up such an elaborate escape route.
We
Plus,
actually
Shachi would have stayed there if he'd known he was a
I thought as
friend.
if my heart would jump out of my chest. But we managed to get down.
If he thought he had reinforcements to
It's
take on the
not over
peacekeepers.
yet. Look over there. Looks like all the suspects are here.
Must we fight all of them? Even Yuma cannot face 4 foes at once. They fled!
It should really be
We better
obvious.
chase after them.
It should really be totally obvious.
Chase scenes are common in adventures, but are you certain the culprit is among them?
There are only 2 ways the culprit could get a hold of Shachi's gun, the murder weapon. Either steal it from the safe or get it from Shachi himself. In any case, the only ones who could have done it are members of the Resistance.
Is it possible the culprit took the victim's gun by force? If so, a complete stranger could have done it.
I'm gonna pause here. I really... This is the biggest flaw with this chapter, is they really give it away that it has to be the swimmer because water plays such a big deal. They make such a big deal about the flooding of Maruman district or whatever. And they make a big deal about the swimmer and his abilities. So like, the real tricky part is trying to figure out how he got away, but you know at least up to that point the swimmer is shady.
But if someone tried to take his gun, I'm sure Shachi would have drawn it and threatened them. If so, the culprit would have realized their target was left-handed.
I see. That would conflict with a cover-up attempted at the crime scene.
Is that where we're supposed to go? I guess.
Also, the culprit issued a proclamation on behalf of the Resistance against the Peacekeepers. At the time, I didn't understand why it was sent to the Peacekeepers. But it must have been to corner Shachi by steering the Peacekeepers toward the hideout. The culprit then ambushed him when he arrived on the roof.
Which means the culprit anticipated the target fleeing up there.
Perhaps it was a planned escape route the Resistance had decided on beforehand. If they fled using the emergency stairs, it would be easy to shake off pursuers.
They're not doing
As a
so good
matter
at
of
shaking
fact,
us off right now.
The Peacekeepers were held up there. If he hadn't been killed, he would have escaped.
So all of it was calculated. Whoever it is, they are truly frightening. And that culprit is among them?
If we organize all the clues we've got so far, we can narrow down who the culprit is.
But how long will they keep running? At this rate, there's no end in sight.
Master, over there!
A giant water tank?
In here, you always find the culprit if you keep solving mysteries. So the only way to catch up to them is to solve mysteries.
I love solving mysteries. It's my whole thing. Getting sliced in the neck really isn't, though. What would be necessary for the culprit to commit the crime?
Counting on you, Master!
Got it.
Well, be left-handed, be good at shooting, or be good at swimming. They would have to be good at swimming. Clearly.
In order to commit this crime, the most important requirement is to be an excellent swimmer. Jumping from that height into a storm drain would also require training and experience. Maybe they had high diving experience through swimming competitions.
We finally caught up!
The truth is crystal clear. The one who murdered Shachi
Is something we're gonna do next time, YouTube. Who killed Shachi? Like you said, it should be crystal clear. But I think we're gonna go ahead and call it
I wouldn't kill
an
anyone!
episode here. I wouldn't kill anyone! I didn't kill anyone.
Anything?
You're an old man.
There's no way I could kill Shachi.
You had boobs. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, let me know. Give me likes, leave me comments. Remember to subscribe. And I will see you next time. Twitch will continue in just a moment because we are probably getting close to being done with this chapter.